Hey guys, Nick. Thanks for tuning into Long Island Wargaming, and I do know that this is a long video compared to usual. It is 26 minutes long, so check it out. It's a good game. Some of the time added in is because we did some post and pre-analysis, Dave and me together. But this is game 3 of 3 that we've been playing together, and we took a little bit of advice from what you guys are throwing up on YouTube, and we decided to play around with it and add it into our lists. So if you want to skip ahead to turn 1, there shall be an annotation right here. Click on that.
All right, so we'll go through Dave's list, and then he'll just give an idea of what his thought process was behind that.
Alrighty, so I have a Spellweaver with Lore of Light, with a bow, feedback scroll, Talisman of Preservation. Next I have a Glade Captain with a bow, Battle Standard Bearer, Great Stag, and Ogre Blade. Next I have the Twins on their Eagle. And then the final hero choice is a Spellsinger, level 2, Lore of Light, with a Dispel Scroll. Then for core, 4 units of 12 Glade Guard, all with Musicians, all with True Flight Arrows. Then we have 2 units of Wild Riders, fully decked out with Command, and then 1 with the Banner of Swiftness, 1 with Eternal Flame Banner. Then finally we have a Tree Man with the Strangle Roots, and 9 Way Watchers. So the idea is to use the Strength 5 items to take care of the Hell Pits, and then the Archers to be able to focus fire on your main Storm Vermin unit.
All right, we'll see how it goes.
All right.
And for my list, minor tweaks from the last 2 games. The Warlord dropped the 5+ ward save for the Dawnstone. That's where we really focus on his armor, because this build is a 2-up armor, and for every successful save in combat, the opponent suffers a strength 4 hit. And he's on the Warlitter. The Chieftain is still running the Storm Banner, and the Razor Banner is in the Storm Vermin. I dropped 5 Storm Vermin and the Warpfire Thrower to move some points around, so I also have a 20-man Clan Rat bunker, which was a suggestion by about 3 people. I know Skaven and AZ was chatting with me about it, so I'm going to try it out. I have done it in my more defensive Skaven lists. I'm not too optimistic in this game because a couple rounds of shooting will take that bunker out, so we'll have to be careful. And if the bunker does go down, then he'll jump into the Storm Vermin or somewhere else safe if there is such a place. And that's pretty much it for the changes in my list. So I know I flashed a couple pictures before while Dave was sharing about his list, so here's just deployment again. You know my list at this point. It's the same for the past 2 games. Dave's is a little bit of variation, so we have the Fast Cav Wild Riders on his left side, so looking at it, the right flank. The Twins on the Eagle right next to them, and then the units of Glade Guard, the BSB hiding behind those Glade Guard, and the 2 casters in the forest, so they get their +1 to cast, so they're at +5. Way Watchers are chilling in the building, and the Tree Man is next to the building. For my magic, my level 2 got Warp Lightning and Scorch, and the Grey Seer got Blessed with Filth, Vermintide, Plague, and the Dreaded 13th. Dave got Net, Barona's Time Warp, Shem's Burning Gaze, and Banishment for his level 4. And we've got Foz's Protection and Speed of Light for his level 2. So Banishment is also at that +1 strength since he has 2 casters chilling out with each other. We do have some fun little terrain going on here. I do have the GW wall segments that have been sitting in the basement for a long period of time. I decided to break them out. I'm going to start painting them up, maybe even do a video on them, but it will add some dimension to the battlefield, which will be good. In this game, it will probably do nothing, since everyone's got True Flight, and protection and cover really doesn't help. So Gutter Rudders are going to be sneaky infiltrating on turn 2 or going forward. So we go into Wood Elf turn 1, and the Storm Banner goes down, really only affecting the sisters, being the twins, not the actual sisters, the twin models, and the Way Watchers in the building. With limited movement at this point, Dave goes into Magic. He rolls up Winds of Magic 12. I get 6 dice, so he's going to have a pretty stellar phase. The only thing that looks like it ends up getting through on the bunker, at least, was Banishment. So we kill 7 guys there. You can also see I've got 2 tokens and a Dispel Scroll for my Grey Seer with those counters. And it looks like he tries getting Shem's Burning Gaze onto the Hellpit Abomination. I know it's only strength 4, but you know what? I need to keep him alive, so I end up scrolling this. I'm not sure if that was worth it or not. He could have rolled a 1, and then a 1 again, and got nothing, or he could have rolled a 6 and then gotten 2 or 3 sixes and did some wounds on me, which would have been an issue. True Flight Arrows go ahead and do their worst and pull off a rank of Storm Vermin. And luckily, the twins miss. I know one of them has a flaming attack that does multiple wounds. I'm just glad she missed that. She rolled a 1. I think she is allowed to reroll from what I remember, and she rolled shitty again because the Storm Banner is at -2 and they're at long range, so it worked out in my favor. Here's my movement phase. Everything kind of moves up. The slaves, some of them move up a lot. The middle slave unit goes ahead and stays back a little bit because it's got 2 engineers in there. I had one in the second unit of slaves, but I wanted to pull him back so he didn't get picked out by any of the wild riders, and he also has the doom rocket, so I don't want that to get wasted yet. Monks are sitting right here. The giant rats go ahead to get in the way of the hell pit because I'm afraid of a flank charge with the flaming banner wild riders, which are the gray ones. So I'm kind of protecting myself here. I'm not sure how that's going to work. The storm vermin march up full, and they're going to try to sweep around that fence there, and then the hell pit is going to be probably going after the Waywatchers at this point. So we go into magic. We have 10. I roll up 10 for myself, and Dave gets 6. He dispels my little spells that I try to get out, and he saves his dispel scroll for the dreaded 13th, and here it comes. I get it off with irresistible, so he can't get rid of it, and since his units are so small, I picked out the unit with the general. That made it with 13 guys. I roll high enough to delete the entire unit, which is cheesy, yes, and probably going to win me the game. We'll see. But yeah, so his general's gone, and it looks like nobody panics, but his general's gone and his glade guard are gone, and yeah, I wipe off the whole unit. The mistake here is I forgot to put clan rats down. I should have gotten a unit of clan rats, which would have been funny because his BSB would have had to go deal with him, or I would have been able to flank charge some glade riders, some glade guard in the forest. But that's an error on my behalf. But hey, now I'm way ahead of the game. And Dave, being a pretty good sport, is actually cool with this. He is very understanding that this is a game of freaking dice and ridiculous things that shouldn't actually happen. So we keep playing. I have one or two of my friends might have said, "All right, let's start over because I'm not going to win the game now." Down a general, down a level forecaster, down a unit right off the bat. But you know what? We still have the twins running around, and this is Wood Elf turn 2, the movement phase. You can see that I have. Um, One unit of Wild Riders got into me. The other one that was charging the Hell Pit false charged because we're going to see if we can do some overrun action in there, but it didn't work out. So one got in, and I'll be able to flank charge them with the Plague Monks on my turn after they overrun into the Hell Pit. So he rolls up a 3 for Winds of Magic, which is pretty shitty, but we go ahead and get Fob's Protection off onto the Wild Riders that are going to be fighting the Rats, the Hell Pits, and probably the Plague Monks. So I want to just back up for a moment. My miscast didn't kill the Grayseer. He's still alive. I think it was the feedback or whatever. I might have taken a wound, but nope, he's still there. We go into Wood Elf shooting. A bunch of shots are taken down here. The Storm Banner is still in effect, but a bunch of guys die here because, True Flight is immune to it. The Waywatchers haven't been doing too much. And then 4 more guys in addition to this are killed by Strangleroot because I guess the Tree Man is now in range. Shooting actually gets a wound onto the Hell Pit, and in combat we kill the Giant Rats and overrun into the Hell Pit Abomination. Everybody luckily passes their panic test from the Giant Rat dying. So the Storm Banner is dead, which is fine. Now I can shoot my Doom Rocket and not worry about it. And here's my movement phase. So all the way to the right, Giant Rats running around, not sure what they're doing. Slaves got into combat on the flank of the Wild Riders, which is awesome. They're slaves, they suck. Maybe I could kill 1 or 2? I don't know. The 1 slave unit stays here behind the wall because I've got the 2 engineers in there, Doom Rocket and Warp Lightning Engineer. Plague Monks flank charge the Wild Riders in combat with the Hell Pit Abomination. The Hell Pit goes and assaults the building. The Storm Vermin, which are really down to about 19 guys now, take the bait and charge the Tree Man, who decides to flee and run through the Glade Guard, causes no panics. I redirect onto the Glade Guard unit. I decide to do that because I could have redirected into the Waywatchers into the building and took the building. Thing is, though, then the Hell Pit would have had nowhere to go, and I felt like that would have been a waste of a Hell Pit. So I redirect into there. I need to roll like a 9 or a 10. I didn't get it. So these guys false charged, and now I've got these freaking Storm Vermin that are going to get shot down even more and be useless. So the gunner runners show up and they are going to go behind the level 2 casters unit. Fun fact, I forget to even shoot with them in this turn, so I'm going to have to do that in next turn. So I get 8 for Woods of Magic. Dave gets 6 Dispel Dice. I get 8 Power Dice. I think I get the Dreaded 13th off again. I rolled low though in terms of how many guys I killed, but I did end up getting it with Irresistible Force, so that Dispel Scroll is still sitting there, which really sucks. He saved it again. He got rid of my shitty little spells in the beginning, and he saved it. But nope, it gets off. I don't kill that many, which I'm not, too upset about because I had things go a lot better my way early on. But I think I get feedback again, which is the result that does wounds to your casters, and the engineer finally dies because he took a wound last time for it, and yeah, so I'm down a caster. I go ahead and do the Doom Rocket, and I roll up 6 dice, which the more dice you add, the more variation you can get, but I still end up rolling all right. I hit the front rank of the Glade Guard here, and I kill a handful of them, which I'm happy about. So this was a huge upset for Dave right here. The Wild Riders, with their devastating charge, all their attacks, they hit like 15 wounds onto the Hell Pit Abomination. He already had 1 wound on him, so he needs to take 5 more to die. And I go ahead and roll like 12 ward saves, 12 regen saves. So after everything's said and done, I only take 4 wounds out of all those attacks. It was just sad. I wasn't expecting to do that well, and that's freaking Warhammer. That's dice. That's math. It doesn't make sense sometimes. But the Plague Monks go ahead and they activate the Plague Banner and just destroy this unit. So the assault on the building. This one is funny. The Hell Pit goes in. I forget what result he rolls, but ends up happening as I roll to hit. Yeah, I got the one where I have to roll to hit. The 3d6 attacks roll to hit. I rolled like a 7, and then I went ahead and rolled like 1s, 2s, and 3s. Essentially, I missed every one, which is funny because I wasted all my 4, 5s, and 6s on the regens from the previous combat. So I end up backing up an inch, and I take a wound from the Way Watchers. So that was a failed attempt to assault that building, and there's still 9 Way Watchers left. The slave unit to the right suffers a casualty and does nothing to the Wild Riders. So I had enough combat res to make it so he could not reform, so I'm still fighting him on his flank. And he loses Frenzy, I think, too, which is nice. So we're going on to Wood Elf turn 2. Not too much movement again, which is interesting. I know Dave is a newer player, so we're going to try to figure out, where he can move and what he should be doing, because with the True Flight arrows, you might as well move around for some reason. I mean, stay in the forest, of course, but if you're not going to lose movement penalty, I don't know, reform, do something fun. But at least with the twins, we didn't start moving them until halfway through the game because, he didn't think about it. So we do get him moving. So we get Foz protection off onto the Wild Riders over here. And from some sort of magic and or shooting, the Hell Pit finally dies, and this is a victorious moment for the Wood Elves. In combat, I lose 2 more slaves, but we're still fighting over here, so my slaves don't run. However, since I didn't have the charge this turn, I, didn't win as well. So he goes around and reforms to face me. Now this is going to be an issue. I didn't say this in his movement phase, but the BSB does go up to kill the Rat Dart, which I am fine about. Gets him a little bit closer to me so I can either leapfrog to him or kill him or make him turn around and run. Really, the Rat Dart was going up to maybe go in and snipe the level 2 caster. I would have been able to charge and make it so I was touching him and have potentially 6 attacks out of 4s to hit, 4s to wound. But, always strike first elves might have changed that, but we move on into Skaven turn 3. I issue a charge with my War Litter against his BSB. It's a decent roll I need to get, like an 8 or 9, but I false charge. I didn't want to send all the Storm Vermin in because I felt like that would have been more of an opportunity for him to kill Storm Vermin, but then I could have gotten into a challenge, but I decided I was going to just send him out and then march the Storm Vermin or have them go run and hide so I can keep the points at least for that giant unit. And you can see here the slaves and the plague monks are moving up full now. They're going to go finish up some of those archers. Hopefully the bunker is getting to the point so it's in range for a dreaded, a plague possibly onto the archers or the way watchers. And that's it really. So without the level 4 helping dispel, I am able to get 2 spells off successfully. I get Vermintide off, which kills 3 or 4 of the Way Watchers in the building. I hit my own Warlord in the mix, but he's got a 2-up armor save rerollable, so he's fine. And then I go ahead and get Dreaded 13th off onto these guys, so I kill half of them, which is great. I roll up a 1, so it bounces to my bunker unit, which is freaking ridiculous, because it goes ahead and kills another half, so the unit is down to just about nothing. Both the heroes each have a wound. That's the BSB and the Gracier. I think we might have overshot this one, because usually the bounce for Plague is 12 inches, where the initial shot is 18 inches, but that's hindsight. The Gutter Runners go ahead and knock out the rest of this unit, so they're down to a level 2 caster and 2 Glade Guard. And I'm able to freaking kill the rest of the Way Watchers with the Hell Pit, so the Hell Pit just backs off an inch because I don't think monsters are allowed to go into the building. So we've got Whittle of turn 4. The twins are on the move. They fly 20 inches over this way, and they're going to probably cause some trouble with my Gracier and BSB in turns to come. He also has the 2 shots with the poison and 1 with the flaming, so the Hell Pit could still be at danger. So we'll see how that goes. And we've got the BSB on the Great Stag charging into the Warlitter Lord. This should be interesting. It'll probably negate the build I have with him. I think I was going on armor save 6s when we were doing this, but really it might have been 5s, because I was thinking he was at strength 6 with the Ogre Blade, but I was also including the armor piercing that I guess he would have if he didn't have a magical weapon. I think you lose the armor piercing when you have a magical weapon. If you guys want to correct that below, because by standard, all the elves have armor piercing, but when you give them a magical weapon, they would lose whatever else they had. 2 guys here die from other shooting, I am assuming. So we're down to a 3 command, a Gracier, and a BSB. And then 1 more round of True Flight Arrows. Get it to the point where we have just the BSB. I think BSB goes last. Either BSB or Champion goes last. I forget. My apologies. And this was fine because now that we got down to 5 guys or less, whatever, we were able to randomize the hits amongst the heroes, so it was harder to wound them, and the ward save on the Gracier absorbed some shots. And the Storm Vermin are sitting with a command and a guy. So done with shooting. Obviously there was nothing in magic I had to share. So here, the Warlitter guy has 3 wounds. He takes 2, so he's got 1 left. I ended up making a few of the 6 armor saves that I needed, which was awesome. Really, really cool. Really surprised about that. And we have 2 wounds onto this guy. I'm not sure where the wounds are allocated because I know a hero only has 2 wounds. I'm not sure if the stag takes wounds separately, but either way, we were able to do 2 wounds here. However, I do end up losing because he charged me, even though we did an equal amount of wounds. He charged me, and he is a banner, so I lose by 2. And I'm leadership 7 with a rerollable, so I go down to 5 with a rerollable, and I fail it, so the Great Stag goes ahead and runs into the Grey Seer. I'm screwed. This game is going to end very soon in terms of my leadership and my BSB, but I've got a plan. A plan I don't think is going to work, but you'll see. I'm going to at least try. Over here, the Wild Riders pop the slaves. The slaves kill a Wild Rider after blowing up. That's what they do. They blow stuff up better than they actually do hitting it in combat. So now I've got a slave unit here that's about to get freaking flank charged. And now it's on to Skaven turn 4. So the Hell Pit makes a run at the stag and doesn't make it. Now you might say, well, Nick, that was a good plan. Well, that's not the crazy-ass plan I'm still thinking about, and I'll get to it. But the Hell Pit load rolled pretty shitty, so that sucks. I could have really used that because he could have hit the stag and then maybe got closer to the sisters, or the twins, I should call them. But yeah, the Storm Vermin just make a run towards the building, and my guys over here, I get my Plague Monks into the unit with the 2 guys and the caster left, so they're going to be screwed because at this point I have, my 20 attacks with poison because that's a venom thicket, and I've got slaves now with poison, so we do a front charge and then a flank charge with the giant rat darts. And now for my crazy plan. I decide to 6 dice, the dreaded 13th. Now, that's not really a crazy plan, that sounds like a good idea. Well, you'll see why I wanted to do this. I end up killing the entire unit because I get it off with Irresistible Force. That's the crazy plan. Go for Irresistible Force. Go for Irresistible Force and blow shit up. So I end up getting some rats out of this and killing a unit, which is fine. But my crazy ass plan pays off because I killed the Great Stag with my miscast by killing everybody around me doing a template strength 10, which nets also the fact that my unit dies and so does my BSB. But hell, now I can turn around and run away with my freaking Gracier. So that's beautiful. I did not expect that to happen, but you know what? Going for that miscast so you can kill the hero and or kill the yeah, just kill the hero and whatever. All right, so I kill these guys over here and overrun and stop and hit my gutter runners. I kill a bunch of guys over here. The slaves lose a few guys also, but to my surprise, they stick. So over here we have Wood Elf turn 5. So you can see that the twins go to charge the Gracier. We did this premature because I end up deciding that fleeing is in my best interest. So I just might have a chance of rallying and not dying and being able to cast magic next turn. But these Wild Riders do go ahead and make it into the Hell Pit. They have the Flaming Banner, so he's screwed. I could have issued a flee with him too, but he would have bounced through the building and that would have been completely pointless. So the Gracier does issue his flee, and the false charge is made by the twins on the Eagle. And Flaming Banner kills the Hell Pit real quickly. And the turn ends looking like this, because I end up killing the remaining Glade Guard, and I do turn and face the sisters, the twins and the Wild Riders with the slaves. Not that I think they'll be able to do anything, but we have those two and a freaking tree man left. So this picture shows Skaven turn 5, where the slaves actually make a rear charge into the Wild Riders. I kill one, and I'm able to kill him, beat him in combat res because I have a rear charge and a charge and 3 ranks. So he actually breaks. I chase him down with the slaves, which is great. You can see the Gracier has successfully turned around and rallied. Magic was kind of underwhelming because I didn't have anything that was going to do anything, especially since with the twins you have to kill them outright entirely in order to be able to even have them die. Which I don't get. I mean, it's cool, it's competitive, it's a good choice, but like you have to kill them, otherwise they get all their wounds back. Like it's just weird. But you can't kill one sister without the other one dying. I don't know. But anyway, this is Wood Elf turn 6. At this point, I do not flee. I actually take the charge. I probably should have fled, but I did my little secret roll, and I was like, oh, if I did flee, what would happen? And yeah, it would have been off the board, so that's fine. The Gracier dies. It's about time. It's Dave deserves this. I must admit. The Gracier got off the dreaded 13th like 3 times with Irresistible Force, so he never had a chance to scroll it because his level 2 had the scroll, his level 4 had the feedback scroll. You could also see that the Storm Vermin are gone. I don't know if they got chased off the board. Maybe a Strangle Root got them. But the Tree Man didn't see any more combat this game. This is Skaven turn 6. I essentially lay low. I decide, hey, let me keep the points I got, which is great. So we end up tallying up points. Dave's got the Twins left and the Tree Man, which was a nice chunk of points. I think it was like 500 something points, and then I have about 500 something points, so there is no difference more than 100 for either side to have a victory in terms of strict victory points. When it came to banners, I didn't come up with an answer on that, so we didn't actually go down, get down dirty with the victory points, because we kind of just decided, hey, this was a close-ass game, we're going to call this a tie. So even with my entire unit of Plague Monks and Gutter Runners on the battlefield, it's still only about 550, 575 points.
So we just finished the game, and at this point we'll give Dave an opportunity to shit talk me a little bit here.
Well, there's no shit talking. It's a matter of, I'm not sure how many, when you do 16 wounds on a Hell Pit, and he saves 12 on one turn, that kind of throws everything out of skew.
Well, I will.
But in terms of what the army was supposed to do, I think it did everything I wanted it to do. I took out the Storm Vermin with shooting. I took out the bunker with shooting. I killed the Hell Pit with the Wild Riders like I wanted. So it did everything I wanted it to do. The only thing it didn't get in, I wanted the Treemen in with the Plague Monks to just stop them, to hold them up. But where you position them, I couldn't put him in front without risking a charge from the Hell Pit, which would have smoked the Treemen.
Right.
So
it ended up being a tie. But the reason why I think I didn't, or why you didn't win, or why I didn't, or why you didn't lose, or whatever, however you want to say it, we got your caster right early in the game.
Turn 2.
Yep. If your caster was around any bit longer, I probably would have lost. And I was just making ridiculous saves on anything that had a ward, an armor, or a regen. Down to the point where, like, my War Litter guy had armor save of a 6 after this stag charged, and I was rolling 6 armor saves.
Yeah.
The Grey Sea was rolling 4 up armor saves, 4 up ward saves the whole time. So, and this was the problem with
and you had 5 irresistible castings in that game.
Yes.
And you didn't get a damn wound on your Grey Seer from any of them.
Right. Dave never had an opportunity to use his Dispel Scroll, because every time I went to throw the rest of my dice at something, it was double 6s. Yep. Every time.
Every single time.
Otherwise, definitely a good game. Of course, if you guys have any comments or anything below, feel free to throw them in. And anything else you want to throw in?
No, that was a much happier experiment. So,
all right, thanks, guys.